AMD and OpenAI announced a strategic partnership to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs. News highlight: OpenAI to deploy 6 gigawatts of the AMD GPUs based on a multi-year, multi-generation agreement. Initial 1 gigawatt OpenAI deployment of the AMD Instinct MI450 series GPUs starting in 2H 2026. Santa Clara, California, October 6th, 2025. The AMD's Nasdaq AMD and OpenAI today announced a 6 gigawatt agreement to power the OpenAI's next generation AI infrastructure across multiple generations of AMD, multiple generations of AMD Instinct GPUs. The first 1 gigawatt deployment of AMD Instinct MI450 GPUs is set to begin in the second half of 2026. The AMD's strong leadership in high-performance computing systems and as OpenAI's pioneering research and advancement in generative AI places the two companies at the forefront of this important and pivotal time for AI. Under this definitive agreement, OpenAI will work with AMD as core strategic computer partner to drive large-scale deployment of AMD technology, starting with AMD Instinct MI450 series and rack-scale AI solutions, and extending to future generations. By sharing technical expertise to optimize their product roadmaps, AMD and OpenAI are deepening their multi-generational hardware and software collaboration that began with the MI300X and continued with the MI350X series. This partnership creates a true win-win for both companies, enabling very large-scale AI deployments and advancing the entire ecosystem. As part of the agreement to further align strategic interests, the AMD has issued to OpenAI a warrant for up to 160 billion shares of AMD common stock, structured to vest as specific milestones are achieved. The first tranche vests with the initial 1 gigawatt deployment, with additional tranches vesting as purchases scale up to 6 gigawatts. Vesting is further tied to AMD achieving certain share price targets and to OpenAI achieving the technical and commercial milestones required to enable AMD deployment at scale. We are thrilled to partner with OpenAI to deliver AI compute at massive scale, said Dr. Lisa Su, Chair and CEO, AMD. This partnership brings the best of AMD and OpenAI together to create a true win-win, enabling the world's most ambitious AI build-out and advancing the entire AI ecosystem. This partnership is a major step in building the compute capacity needed to realize AI full potential, said Sam Altman, co-founder and CEO of OpenAI. AMD's leadership in high-performance chips will enable us to accelerate progress and bring the benefits of advanced AI to everyone faster. Building the future of AI requires deep collaboration across every layer of the stack, said Greg Brockman, co-founder and president of OpenAI. Working alongside AMD will allow us to scale to deliver AI tools that benefit people everywhere. Our partnership with OpenAI is expected to deliver tens of billions of dollars in revenue for AMD while accelerating OpenAI's AI infrastructure build-out, said John Hu, EVP, CFO, and Treasurer, AMD. The agreement creates significant strategic alignment and shareholder value for both AMD and OpenAI is expected to be highly accretive to AMD non-GAAP earnings per share. Through the partnership, AMD and OpenAI are building the infrastructure to meet the whole growing AI demand by combining world-class innovation and execution to accelerate the future of high performance and AI computing. Okay, AMD, the AI teleconference, AMD teleconference. The AMD holds a conference call at 5 a.m. PT, 8 a.m. ET today to discuss today's announcement. AMD will provide a real-time audio broadcast of the teleconference on Investor Relations IR page of each website at amd.com. The AMD third quarter financial result. AMD will report fiscal third quarter 2025 financial results on Tuesday, November 4, 2025, after the market close. Management will conduct a conference call to discuss these results at 5 p.m. EDT or 2 p.m. PDT. Interested parties are invited to listen to the webcast of the conference call via the AMD Investor Relations website, ir.amd.com, at www.amd.com. About AMD. For more 55 years, AMD has driven innovation, high-performance computing, graphic and visualization technologies. Billions of people reading Fortune 500 businesses and a cutting-edge scientific research institution around the world rely on AMD technology daily to improve how they live, work, and play. AMD employees are focused on building leadership, high performance, and adaptive products that push the boundaries of what is possible. For more information about how AMD is enabling today and inspiring tomorrow, visit the AMD website, blog, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X pages. About OpenAI. OpenAI is an AI research and deployment company. Our mission is to ensure the artificial general intelligence benefits all of the humanity. Look forward-looking statement. This press release contained a forward-looking statement concerning AMD, such as the anticipated benefit of the strategic partnership with OpenAI, the use of the current and future AMD technology for large-scale AI deployment, the multi-generational hardware and software collaboration between the parties, milestone and performance-based value creation, the deployment of 6 gigawatts of AMD Instinct GPUs and a timing thereof. Expected business performance result. AMD's outlook on the AI industry and AMD's ability to accelerate the future of high performance and AI computing. AMD's ability to position itself to support robust future growth and drive long-term shareholder value, including the expectation that the partnership will deliver tens of billions of dollars in revenue for AMD. The agreement created strategic alignment and shareholder value for the parties, and is expected to be highly accretive to AMD non-GAAP earnings per share, the availability, timing, and expected benefits of AMD products and roadmaps, and the expected demand for AMD product, all of which are made pursuant to the Safe Harbor provision of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements are commonly identified words such as would, may, expect, believes, plan, intend, projects, and other terms with a similar meaning. Investors are cautioned that our forward-looking statements in this press release are based on the current belief, assumptions, and expectations, speak only as of the date of this press release, and involve risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from the current expectation. Such statements are subject to certain known and unknown risks and uncertainties, many of which are difficult to predict and generally beyond AMD's control. They could cause actual results and other future events to differ materially from those expressed in or implied or projected by the forward-looking information statement. Material factors that could cause the actual result to differ materially from the current expectation include, without limitation, the following: the impact of changes in economy or business conditions of our partners, new developments in the AI industry, successful execution of the business strategy of AMD and its partners, competitive market in which AMD's products are sold, the cyclical nature of the semiconductor industry, market conditions of industries in which AMD's products are sold, AMD's ability to introduce products on a timely basis with respect to feature and performance levels, loss of a significant customer and economy and market uncertainty, quality and seasonal sales pattern, AMD's ability to adequately protect its technology or other intelligence property. Unfavorable currency exchange rate fluctuations, ability to third party of the manufacturers to manufacture AMD's product on a timely basis in sufficient quantities and using competitive technologies, ability of the essential equipment, materials and substrate or manufacturing processes, ability to achieve the expected manufacturing yields for AMD's product, AMD ability to generate revenue for each semi-custom SoC product, potential security vulnerabilities, potential security incidents including IT outages, data loss, data breaches, and cyber stack, and uncertainty involving the ordering and shipment of AMD product. AMD reliance on the third-party intelligence properties to design and introduce new product, and AMD reliance on third-party companies for design, manufacture and supply of the motherboards, software, memory, and other computer platform components. AMD reliance on Microsoft and other software vendors support to design and develop software to run on AMD's product. AMD reliance on the third-party distributor and add-in board partners, impact of the modification or interruption of AMD's internal business process and information systems, compatibility of AMD's product with some of all industry standard software and hardware, cost related to the effective product, efficiency of the AMD supply chain, AMD ability to rely on a third-party supply chain logistics function, AMD's ability to effectively control sales of each product on the gray market, impact of climate change on the AMD businesses, impact of government actions and regulation, such as export regulations, tariffs and trade protection measure, and licensing requirements, AMD's ability to realize its deferred tax assets, potential tax liabilities, current and future claims and litigation, impact of environmental law and conflict minerals-related provisions and other laws and regulations, involving the expectation from the government, investors, customers, and other stakeholders regarding the corporate responsibility matter, issues related with the responsible use of AI, restriction imposed by agreement covering AMD's notes, the guarantees of the Xilinx note, the environment credit agreement, and T system credit agreement, impact of acquisition as point ventures and strategic investment and investment AMD's business, AMD's ability to integrate the acquired business, including GT systems, so AMD's ability to complete the sales of a GT systems manufacturing business, impact of any impairment of the combined company's assets, political, legal, and economic risks, and natural disaster and future impairment of technology license purchases, AMD's ability to attract and retain qualified personnel, and AMD stock price volatility. Investors are urged to review in detail and risk and uncertainty in AMD's Security and Exchange Commission filings, including but not limited to AMD's most recent reports, Form 10K and 10Q. Okay, next one is the U.S. Senate passed this measure that limits NVIDIA and AMD's AI chips export to China. The Senate actions follow a Trump administration deal with the summer's NVIDIA and AMD to ease the China export restriction. Bloomberg. artificial intelligence chip from the NVIDIA Corporation Advanced Micro Devices would have to ensure the American companies to get a priority access to their product before the China under legislation the U.S. Senate has passed, a setback for the technology industry effort to block the industry. The measure. The bipartisan legislation was easily approved in a vote late in the third day. It's designed to bolster U.S. competitiveness in the cutting-edge industries and curb export to China and other foreign adversaries. And according to the lead co-sponsor, Senator Jim Bankston, Indiana Republican. The U.S. tech leaders and groups have criticized the bill, arguing it would instead restrict competition and weaken the innovation. Today, the Senate acted to make sure the American startups aren't forced to wait in line behind China's tech giant when purchasing the latest AI chips. A Democratic co-sponsor, Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, said in a statement. The Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, the lead Democratic co-sponsor of the bipartisan legislation that curbs advanced technology export to China and other foreign adversaries of the U.S. Photo EPA. A senator approved the measure as a part of their annual defense policy bill after a month-long stalemate, but its path to becoming law remains unclear. The next one is the NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says he is disappointed by the China reported chip curbs. The China's internet regulator is said to be banning domestic tech companies from buying an NVIDIA chip model tailored for the local market. The CEO, the NVIDIA, which faces tight restriction on selling its chips to China amid the Sino-US battle over trade and technology, and said he was disappointed about the situation. Jensen Huang said he expected to discuss the issue with the U.S. President Donald Trump at the State of banquet hosted by the British government that they would be attending on Wednesday night. Santa Clara, California-based NVIDIA, the world's most valuable company, is restricted from exporting to China its most advanced chip, which are in demand for developing artificial intelligence, Next one is TSMC Samsung components still found in Huawei's Ascent 910C. The semiconductor intelligence firm TechSite has concluded, following a teardown of the Huawei technology Ascend 910C chip, that some of the components still come from Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing companies TSMC, Samsung Electronics, and SK Hynix. Next one is NVIDIA. The next one is NVIDIA Intel could win AI war with a secret weapon. If you haven't heard, NVIDIA is investing $5 billion in the Intel. According to the NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, this exciting NVIDIA Intel alliance will create an Intel x86 SoC that integrated NVIDIA chiplet, fusing the world's best CPU and GPU. This could be the injection it needs to break out its phone and course correct its downward trajectory. But this fusion isn't just about improving Intel Arc integrated graphics. It's actually step forward the AI PC dominance. I think I've already read this, but I hope to read it again. The NVIDIA GPU have long been the best hardware for the local AI workload, but they are limited by the VRAM. With the Intel's help, NVIDIA could finally solve the bottleneck by developing the same power that Apple has been wielding. I think I wrote this. Next one is how about this? The Phison, the CEO says a memory shortage could last 10 years. Think AI. The high demand for industrial data centers heavy on both memory and solid-state storage could create a massive crunch that raises prices for essential all electronics. Between data centers sprouting up like daisies and a formerly affordable DDR4 memory finally fading into the sunset, we are looking at some lifetimes ahead for memory and storage prices, and then before the general economic turmoil and tariffs complicate things even further. Now, one major flash hardware producer's CEO is even warning that he could be looking at the decade-long shortage. Said CEO is Pua Kain-sung of Phison Electronics. Phison doesn't get a lot of visibility in the current consumer space, but it's one of the planet's biggest manufacturers of NAND memory controller. Pretty good odds that they are Phison chips in the gadget you are using to read these words. In an interview with Tech Taiwan, Pua predicted that we will be in a full-on memory shortage next year, with data centers made for increased capacity in general and AI projects in particular creating an industry-wide growth of the hardware. That's especially true as large data centers transition from a conventional hard drive, the last major holdup for decades-old tech, to solid-state drives. That would inevitably push the price for flash-based memory and storage higher and by extension, raise prices on more or less all consumer electronics, including phones and PCs and graphic cards. Even devices with mostly invisibly integrated electronics like monitors or headphones would be affected, with wind-down investment following the pandemic, immediately followed by the surging demand for AI bubble. Pua estimated that we could see a shortage that lasts as long as a decade, according to Tech Power Up. I should note that the CEO of a major memory controller supplier isn't exactly unbiased source of information on the matter. Phison could be trying to spur investment or account for lucky times in its own future. But speaking as someone who's definitely on the consumer side of the equation, I don't see anything that's obviously wrong about the shortage position. Most other analysts are already predicting the higher price in the short term, and it's certainly possible that shortage could be sustained for multiple years. The biggest thing that might change that is if the AI bubble bursts, and which might create some bigger problems for consumers, like finding a place to live or something to eat. Okay, next one is China accelerated EUV lithography breakthroughs with patents and testing. Okay, China is enhancing EUV lithography technology amid U.S. export restriction. Yu Liangsheng's 28nm immersion DUV machine is being tested at SMIC, while SMEE has patented a method to improve the chip pattern quality. Good. AMD and OpenAI announced a strategic partnership to deploy 6 gigawatts of the AMD GPUs. The company multiplies partnership on the accelerator side. Summary: the OpenAI deployed 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs based on a multi-year and multi-generation agreement. Initial 1 gigawatt OpenAI deployment of AMD Instinct MI450 series GPUs starting in the second half of 2026. The AMD Advanced Micro Devices Incorporation OpenAI announced a 6 gigabyte agreement to power OpenAI's next-generation AI infrastructure across multiple generations of AMD Instinct GPU. The first 1 gigawatt deployment of the AMD Instinct MI450 GPUs is set to begin in the second half of 2026. The AMD strong leadership in high-performance computing systems and OpenAI's pioneering research in advanced in generative AI. I think this is the same one that I already read. Okay, skip. Next one. The SEMI forecast $1 trillion semiconductor market by 2023. Spending on the 2030, as a 300 millimeter fab equipment is expected to reach $107 billion in 2025, according to the 300 millimeter fab out reported by SEMI. The sector is expected to grow 7% this year and 9% in 2026 to reach $116 billion, a 4% increase in 2027, followed by a 15% increase and total worldwide expenditure of the $138 billion in 2028. Over the next 3 years, total expenditure will be $374 billion, said Clark Chen, the director of the Industry Research and Statistics at SEMI Pictures, speaking at the SEMICON West in the Phoenix, Arizona. To put this number into perspective, the total semiconductor industry capex is around $280 billion, so you can imagine how much of this capex will be channeled into the infrastructure, semiconductors, and AI semiconductors, and all the hardware that is going to be built around AI, he said. We believe AI semiconductors account for most to $230 billion and $250 billion. That is a major share of the total semiconductor sales, he added. The cyclical nature of the semiconductor industry means that the growth rate will taper, but despite that, the SMI projected that the industry will register over $1 trillion by 2030. By then, we expect the AI semiconductor share to be close to 50%, about $500 billion, said Chen. Or AI investment is beginning to be seen at the college when it will be more localized processing in vehicles and start simulation automation. Chen explained inference will not longer be limited to the data center, but will spread to the cloud and edge in the next 3 to 5 years. This will mean investment in new equipment related to AI and edge PC increasing by 45% in the next 2 years and 55% by 2030, he predicted. Okay, next one is just summary title. Next one is Samsung and OpenAI announced a strategic partnership to accelerate advancement in global AI infrastructure. August 6, 2025. Samsung will build together technology and innovation across the advanced semiconductor data centers, shipbuilding and cloud services, and maritime technologies. Maritime? Okay, I read this next time. Thank you for your time. See you next time.